Hi guys, I'm super excited to be here with my friend Laura Ricci. Laura, is that how you say your last name?
It is, yes.
It is. Okay. Laura Ricci. I should know that, but anyways, Laura is a holistic nutritionist and a chef. She founded her company called the Kitchen Healing Co. So Laura's really passionate about food and nutrition, but she's also really passionate about making it easier for you to access health and nutrition from the comfort of your home by preparing delicious and nutritious meals. So anyway, thanks so much for being here with us today, Laura.
Yes, thanks for having me. And thanks for that introduction.
So I asked Laura if I could pick her brain, just so that, again, I know that nutrition is a topic that tends to be very confusing for all of us because marketing has done a great job to make it all so very confusing. And so just to give us bite-sized information that we can implement, and knowing that it's not always about taking the next perfect step. It's just about taking action, and taking clear action is always easier. So Laura's here to provide us with clarity. Yay. So Laura, I will dive in and let you be our expert in terms of bringing clarity around nutrition. So question number one, if you can give people one piece of advice to move the needle on their nutrition, what would it be?
So I would say just try to eat more whole foods. Anytime you're eating something closer to its original form, such as like an apple compared to a piece of apple pie, you're getting more nutrients, you're getting the full range of fiber, carbs, vitamins, and minerals. And anytime that there's processing in a food, a lot of the nutrition is lost. So when we're eating so much processed foods, we rely on it very heavily in our modern diet. We're not getting quite the nutrition that we could be getting by just eating whole foods. And a lot of the time in the processing of foods, there's added ingredients that are less than ideal, such as vegetable oils, preservatives, and a lot of added sugar.
Amazing. Yeah, so true. Yeah, it is complicated. It's a tough question to answer, isn't it? Like if you can give people one thing to focus on, but I do think that is, again, if we just think about foods in their purest form, it is such an easy starting point, right? Because it's not even necessarily about what we need to cut out, but what we need to add in more of, right? And yeah, I was going to follow that up with one thing that I often like to impart in terms of, my one piece of information is reminding us that we are experts in our own bodies, because, food fuels us in ways that if we make the time to actually listen to how we're receiving food, whether or not we're feeling gassy and bloaty after eating, whether or not we're feeling peckish within 20 minutes of eating, whether or not we feel like we need a nap, whether or not we need to run to the bathroom after eating, like there is lots of information that's provided to us about what we're eating and how we're feeling. It's just that, again, the modern pace of our world kind of takes us a little bit out of touch with that. How does food, what's the impact that this food is having on me? So anyway, I'll follow up the whole foods with listen to how you're feeling after eating, and let those two pieces be the focus. If you're confused and not sure what to do next, eat more whole foods and listen to how your body feels. So anyway,
I definitely agree.
Yes, amazing. All right. So I think I'm going to do one more question, and then we will pause we'll break so that we can deliver this information to you in smaller, more concise little snippets for you to digest. So number two, what are your thoughts around snacking, Laura?
Yeah, so I think snacking is a bit of a situational thing. So I think for certain groups of people, snacking can be really beneficial and important. So groups such as kids, teenagers, athletes, pregnant women, I think that snacking can be important for those groups in order to get in those extra calories. They're growing or trying to build muscle. So to get in all those nutrients, they might need to snack in between meals. For the average person, I don't actually love snacking that much. I think that a lot of the time we reach for snacks when we are feeling tired or emotional or bored. And we tend to reach for snacks that are giving us some kind of comfort. So they're high in sugar or carbs, and they don't necessarily have balancing things like fats and protein. So this can lead to a blood sugar spike and crash, which can end up making us feel even worse. So I think that an important thing is to tune into your body and kind of recognize what is a hunger cue and what's more of an emotional cue that something's going on and you need to kind of dive deeper into that. And also try focusing more on having blood sugar balancing meals, and then kind of checking in to see if that if you're still feeling hungry in between meals.
Mhm. Amazing. Yeah. Yeah, I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. Like it's not an absolute no, never, but that it very, very often does take away from us eating more of those whole foods, right? Because if we are snacking on things in between that are not necessarily nutrient dense, then when it comes to mealtime, there's going to be less room to eat that nutrient dense meal. And I think even studies do show that we have very different behaviors around snacking and meal eating, and that generally we do tend to consume more calories um, in, from a snack a lot of times, because we have this different relationship with it, that we can consume more calories in a snack than we can in an actual meal, just because it's a very different sort of relationship with eating. And I also think that it's really fascinating when I think about our grocery stores, and when we think about how many aisles are dedicated to snacking and snack foods, it does sort of send the wrong message to us, right? About how we're supposed to be eating, because I don't want to, I don't know for sure, but it does really feel like 50-50. 50% of the store is that whole foods focus, whole foods meal focus. And then I would, argue that 50% of the store is about snack foods. And so again, it does create this sort of confusion right from the get-go, regardless of what marketing we're seeing, regardless of, treat yourself, regardless of, all of these different messaging that we're getting. Just the way that our grocery stores are built has already plants a seed that, nutrition equals whole foods and snack foods. And so again, I think it's a lot of unlearning, right? A lot of just sort of, getting rid of the noise. So anyway, thank you so much for those two, for answering those two questions. I'm going to cut it off there so that we can keep this short and sweet, and we'll see you guys next time. Bye.
See you then.